Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our English Learning Podcast. I'm Adam, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Julia. Whether you're listening at home, in the car, or on your daily walk, we're so happy to have you with us today.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be back with another exciting topic. We know that learning English is a journey, and every journey needs the right tools and guidance. But what if I told you that in today's world, a big part of that guidance can come from technology. More specifically, from artificial intelligence, also known as AI.
That's right. AI has been making headlines in almost every industry, and language learning is no exception. From interactive chatbots to advanced translation tools, AI is becoming a powerful assistant for English learners. But here's the big question. Can AI actually teach you English? Can you rely on it to become fluent? Or is it just a helpful tool that works best alongside human teachers?
That's exactly what we're going to explore in today's episode. We'll start by explaining what AI really is and how it works in language learning. Then, we'll dive into the benefits of using AI to study English, what it does well, how it can help improve your skills, and why so many people are turning to AI-powered apps and programs.
But of course, AI is not perfect, and it has its limitations. So we'll also talk about the challenges of learning English with AI, the areas where it still struggles, and why human interaction is still so important in language learning.
And finally, we'll take a look into the future. What role will AI play in English education in the coming years? Will we see fully AI-powered teachers replacing traditional classrooms? Or will AI remain a tool that works alongside human instructors? By the end of this episode, you'll have a much clearer idea of how AI can help you on your English learning journey and whether it's the right choice for you.
So, if you've ever used AI to practice English, or if you're curious about whether AI can really help you learn, stay with us. We have a lot to cover, and we're going to break everything down in a way that's simple, easy to understand, and most importantly, useful for your learning.
That's right. So let's get started with the basics. What exactly is AI and how does it work?
Before we discuss how AI is helping people learn English, let's first understand what AI actually is. AI stands for Artificial Intelligence, which means a computer's ability to think and learn like a human. It allows machines to process information, recognize patterns, and even make decisions. Unlike normal computer programs that only follow instructions, AI can learn from experience and improve over time. This is why AI is becoming so powerful in many areas of life. In the past, computers could only do what they were programmed to do. If you gave them a task, they would complete it exactly as instructed, but they could not adapt or understand anything beyond their programming. AI, on the other hand, can analyze huge amounts of data and find patterns to predict what you might need. This is why AI can recommend music, suggest what to watch, or even help you type by predicting your next words. AI is not just about following commands. It is about learning and improving. AI is now part of many industries, including healthcare, business, and education. In healthcare, AI helps doctors detect diseases by analyzing medical scans. In business, AI is used to predict what customers might want to buy. In education, AI is being used to assist students in learning new skills. Since AI can process language and speech, it has become a useful tool for language learners. This is why so many people are now using AI-powered applications to improve their English.
That's true. AI is everywhere, and we use it more than we realize. Many people don't think about it, but AI plays a big role in daily life. If you have ever asked your phone's voice assistant for directions, check the weather, or set a reminder, you have used AI. These voice assistants, like Siri and Google Assistant, can understand human speech and respond in a natural way. They listen to what you say, process the information, and give you an answer almost instantly. Another good example of AI in daily life is recommendation systems. When you watch a movie on Netflix, listen to music on Spotify, or scroll through YouTube, AI is working in the background. It analyzes what you have watched or listened to before and suggests similar content. The more you use these services, the better AI gets at predicting what you might like. This is why your recommendations become more accurate over time. AI also helps with communication. Many people use AI-powered translation apps like Google Translate when they need to understand a foreign language. AI makes it possible to translate words, sentences, and even entire conversations in seconds. Some AI tools can even recognize speech and provide subtitles in real time. This is why AI has become so important for people who want to learn new languages, including English.
That's a great point, Julia. AI is helping people in so many ways, and language learning is one of the biggest areas where it is making a difference. But here's an interesting question. Can AI actually teach someone to speak English fluently? We know that AI can translate words, suggest corrections, and even help with pronunciation. But is that enough? Can AI replace human teachers, or is it just a tool to assist learners? What do you think, Julia?
Before we discuss how AI is helping people learn English, let's first understand what AI actually is. AI stands for artificial intelligence, which means a computer's ability to think and learn like a human. It allows machines to process information, recognize patterns, and even make decisions. Unlike normal computer programs that only follow instructions, AI can learn from experience and improve over time. This is why AI is becoming so powerful in many areas of life. In the past, computers could only do what they were programmed to do. If you gave them a task, they would complete it exactly as instructed, but they could not adapt or understand anything beyond their programming. AI, on the other hand, can analyze huge amounts of data and find patterns to predict what you might need. This is why AI can recommend music, suggest what to watch, or even help you type by predicting your next words. AI is not just about following commands. It is about learning and improving. AI is now part of many industries, including healthcare, business, and education. In healthcare, AI helps doctors detect diseases by analyzing medical scans. In business, AI is used to predict what customers might want to buy. In education, AI is being used to assist students in learning new skills. Since AI can process language and speech, it has become a useful tool for language learners. This is why so many people are now using AI-powered applications to improve their English.
Before we discuss how AI is helping people learn English, let's first understand what AI actually is. AI stands for artificial intelligence, which means a computer's ability to think and learn like a human. It allows machines to process information, recognize patterns, and even make decisions. Unlike normal computer programs that only follow instructions, AI can learn from experience and improve over time. This is why AI is becoming so powerful in many areas of life. In the past, computers could only do what they were programmed to do. If you gave them a task, they would complete it exactly as instructed, but they could not adapt or understand anything beyond their programming. AI, on the other hand, can analyze huge amounts of data and find patterns to predict what you might need. This is why AI can recommend music, suggest what to watch, or even help you type by predicting your next words. AI is not just about following commands. It is about learning and improving. AI is now part of many industries, including healthcare, business, and education. In healthcare, AI helps doctors detect diseases by analyzing medical scans. In business, AI is used to predict what customers might want to buy. In education, AI is being used to assist students in learning new skills. Since AI can process language and speech, it has become a useful tool for language learners. This is why so many people are now using AI-powered applications to improve their English.
That's true. AI is everywhere, and we use it more than we realize. Many people don't think about it, but AI plays a big role in daily life. If you have ever asked your phone's voice assistant for directions, check the weather, or set a reminder, you have used AI. These voice assistants, like Siri and Google Assistant, can understand human speech and respond in a natural way. They listen to what you say, process the information, and give you an answer almost instantly. Another good example of AI in daily life is recommendation systems. When you watch a movie on Netflix, listen to music on Spotify, or scroll through YouTube, AI is working in the background. It analyzes what you have watched or listened to before and suggests similar content. The more you use these services, the better AI gets at predicting what you might like. This is why your recommendations become more accurate over time. AI also helps with communication. Many people use AI-powered translation apps like Google Translate when they need to understand a foreign language. AI makes it possible to translate words, sentences, and even entire conversations in seconds. Some AI tools can even recognize speech and provide subtitles in real time. This is why AI has become so important for people who want to learn new languages, including English.
That's a great point, Julia. AI is helping people in so many ways, and language learning is one of the biggest areas where it is making a difference. But here's an interesting question. Can AI actually teach someone to speak English fluently? We know that AI can translate words, suggest corrections, and even help with pronunciation. But is that enough? Can AI replace human teachers? Or is it just a tool to assist learners? What do you think, Julia?
All right, let's start by talking about how AI is currently being used to learn English. There are a variety of apps out there that have incorporated artificial intelligence to make language learning more personalized and efficient. One of the most well-known is Duolingo, which has quickly become a favorite for millions of learners around the world. The app uses AI to adapt your lessons, meaning it adjusts itself based on how well you're doing. If you're struggling with a specific word or concept, Duolingo will present that lesson more frequently, allowing you to focus on areas where you need improvement. It's like having a personal tutor who understands your learning pace and helps you progress step by step.
Duolingo is such a great tool, and I think what really sets it apart is the way it gamifies the learning process. Instead of the traditional classroom approach, Duolingo turns learning into a game, where you earn points and rewards as you complete lessons. This gamified structure helps keep learners motivated. You're not just repeating vocabulary or grammar drills, you're working through levels, just like in a video game, which makes the process of learning feel exciting. And because it's broken into bite-sized lessons, it's easy to fit into your schedule, even if you only have a few minutes each day to practice.
That's right. Another app that's changing the game is ChatGPT. Unlike Duolingo, ChatGPT is focused on real-time conversation practice, which is so valuable for English learners. With ChatGPT, you're not just memorizing words or sentences, you're actually practicing how to use them in context. You can ask questions, discuss topics, and even get detailed explanations of complex grammar rules. What's really incredible is that ChatGPT provides instant feedback, so if you make a mistake, you can immediately learn the correct usage. This instant correction helps solidify your understanding and can speed up your learning process. And because ChatGPT is available 24/7, you have the flexibility to practice whenever it's convenient for you.
Exactly, Julia. ChatGPT has the ability to help learners in a way that feels like having a private tutor at your fingertips. One of the challenges of traditional language learning is that you often don't get to practice speaking or writing in real-life situations. With ChatGPT, however, you can engage in actual conversations and receive responses that feel natural. Whether you're looking to practice simple questions or have more in-depth discussions, it's there to guide you. And since you're not confined to specific class times, you can practice as much or as little as you need, based on your own schedule. It's incredibly flexible.
Another aspect that sets ChatGPT apart is its ability to adapt to different learning needs. For example, if you're a beginner and you struggle with basic sentences, you can start by asking ChatGPT simple questions and work your way up. On the other hand, If you're more advanced and want to discuss complex topics or improve your writing skills, ChatGPT can help you with that as well. It can even give you examples of how native speakers would use certain words or phrases in different contexts, helping you understand the subtle nuances of the language. This personalized feedback is a huge advantage, especially for learners who may not have access to a language teacher on a regular basis.
That's a great point, Julia. And let's not forget about Google Translate, another popular AI tool. While it's primarily known for its translation abilities, it can be incredibly useful for English learners, especially beginners. Google Translate allows you to translate words, phrases, or even entire sentences from your native language into English instantly. This is incredibly helpful when you're reading English material or trying to understand something you've heard. But the best part is that Google Translate also provides pronunciation guides, so you can hear how words are said in English, which is key for improving your speaking skills.
Yes, Google Translate is a classic example of how AI can make language learning more accessible. And it's not just useful for translating text. One feature that many people don't realize is that you can use your camera to translate text in real time. If you're walking through a city and see a sign in English that you don't understand, you can simply take a photo with the app, and it will translate it for you. This feature is not only great for expanding your vocabulary, but also for learning how English is used in everyday situations, whether it's on street signs, menus, or in advertisements. It really brings the language to life.
Absolutely. The real-time translation feature in Google Translate is such a powerful tool for immersion learning. It makes learning English feel much more practical, especially if you're in an English-speaking environment or traveling. You don't have to wait until you're in a classroom to pick up new vocabulary. You can be learning as you go about your daily life. And the pronunciation feature, where you can hear the correct pronunciation of words, is a great way to avoid the common mistakes learners make when speaking a new language. It's all about helping you build a stronger foundation.
Exactly. And this is what makes AI tools like Google Translate and Duolingo so valuable. They provide learners with the ability to practice and improve continuously, no matter where they are. This constant accessibility makes language learning feel less like a chore and more like a natural part of everyday life. But it's important to remember that while these tools are incredibly helpful, they can't fully replace the experience of learning from a human teacher. In fact, that's the next question I think we should discuss. Adam, do you think AI is better than a human teacher?
That's a great question, Julia. Let's dive into that next. Because while AI can be incredibly helpful in terms of accessibility and flexibility, there are certain aspects of language learning that might be better suited for human teachers. Let's explore both sides and see where AI excels and where it might fall short. All right, let's dive into the advantages of using AI to learn English. One of the biggest benefits is that AI is available 24/7. It's unlike traditional classrooms where you have set times and schedules. With AI-powered apps and platforms, you can practice whenever it's convenient for you. Whether it's in the morning before work, late at night after dinner, or even during a lunch break, AI is always ready to assist. That flexibility is so important for people who have busy schedules or other commitments. It means you're in control of when and how much you practice, without the stress of having to make it to a specific class at a specific time. You can also repeat lessons or practice as often as you want, without worrying about missing something or needing to wait for the next session.
That's a great point, Adam. The availability of AI really opens up opportunities for learning at your own pace. Not only is it available at any time, but it's also incredibly flexible in terms of what you want to learn. For example, if you're a beginner and need to focus on the basics, you can start with simple vocabulary and grammar. If you're more advanced, you can dive into conversations or complex writing tasks. This flexibility in learning means that AI can truly personalize the experience. You get a tailored approach that fits your current level, interests, and learning goals. It's not a one-size-fits-all method. It's all about adapting to you.
Exactly, Julia. The idea of personalizing learning is really what makes AI stand out. AI can assess your progress, track what you're struggling with, and adjust the lessons accordingly. For example, let's say you're learning new vocabulary in a specific context like shopping or traveling. AI can provide examples, quizzes, and even engage you in conversations based on those scenarios. This helps you learn more effectively because you're not just memorizing random words, you're learning in a way that makes sense to you. This personalized approach also extends to grammar, where AI can identify patterns in your mistakes and focus on areas where you need the most help.
That's such a good point. And this ability to personalize learning doesn't just apply to vocabulary or grammar. It can also work with your learning style. For instance, if you learn best through visuals, AI can use images and videos to help reinforce vocabulary. If you prefer listening, AI can provide audio clips, allowing you to hear native speakers use words and phrases in context. If you're more of a hands-on learner, AI can engage you with interactive exercises and games. AI really has the potential to adapt to a variety of learning styles, which is something that's harder to achieve in a traditional classroom setting where the teacher has to focus on one method for everyone.
Exactly, Julia. And one of the most exciting developments in AI for language learning is voice recognition technology. Many apps, including Duolingo, use this feature to help learners improve their pronunciation. This is especially important for English, which has a lot of tricky sounds and pronunciation rules. With voice recognition, you can say a word or sentence out loud, and the AI will listen to how you pronounce it. If it's correct, great. If not, it will offer suggestions for improvement. This is a really valuable tool because it allows learners to practice pronunciation in a way that is usually only possible with a human teacher. Plus, you get immediate feedback, which helps you correct mistakes before they become habits.
I love that. The instant feedback on pronunciation is a game changer. It's often one of the hardest parts of learning English because, as you mentioned, the language has so many tricky sounds that don't exist in other languages. Being able to practice those sounds, like the th sound or the difference between ship and sheep, with immediate feedback, is so valuable. It's like having a tutor right there with you to listen and correct your mistakes in real time. This kind of practice helps learners feel more confident when they speak English in real-life situations, whether it's at work, in school, or while traveling.
That's right, Julia. And let's talk about grammar for a second because AI is making that easier too. Many AI-powered platforms are equipped with advanced grammar correction tools. If you're writing a sentence in English, the AI can instantly check for errors, offer suggestions for improvement, and explain why something might be incorrect. This is incredibly helpful because for many English learners, grammar rules can feel overwhelming. But with AI, you can get immediate, clear explanations, which makes it easier to understand and remember the rules. Whether it's verb tenses, prepositions, or sentence structure, AI can guide you through the correct usage and help you improve.
And these grammar correction tools also help with writing fluency. For example, if you're practicing writing emails, essays, or even just short messages, AI can help you structure your thoughts and make your writing clearer. You can also get feedback on how to make your writing sound more natural or professional. This is especially valuable in a world where communication is becoming more and more digital, and being able to write well in English is a crucial skill. With the help of AI, learners can see their progress, refine their skills, and avoid making the same mistakes repeatedly.
Exactly. Now, let's move on to another really interesting feature of AI: chatbots for conversation practice. AI chatbots, like those powered by ChatGPT, are great for simulating real-life conversations. You can have a discussion about any topic you want, whether it's travel, work, hobbies, or current events, and the AI will respond naturally. It's a fantastic way to practice speaking and writing in a more conversational context. For example, if you're preparing for a job interview in English or want to practice casual small talk, you can use an AI chatbot to rehearse. The AI doesn't just give you the right answers, it also helps you improve your responses and guides you to speak more naturally.
That's such an important tool, Adam. With AI chatbots, you're essentially practicing with a conversational partner who is available whenever you need it. Unlike traditional learning methods, where you might not always get the chance to speak English, especially if you don't have access to native speakers, AI chatbots allow you to practice those real-life situations in a stress-free environment. You don't have to worry about making mistakes because the chatbot is there to guide you through every step. Over time, this kind of practice helps you feel more confident when speaking English with real people in real situations.
Right, Julia. And the great thing about chatbots is that they can simulate a wide range of scenarios, from formal situations like business meetings to more casual ones like ordering coffee at a cafe. You can practice whatever feels most relevant to your life and needs. As you get more comfortable, you'll find that these conversation skills start to transfer into your day-to-day interactions, and you'll become more fluent in a variety of situations. AI chatbots are really helping learners practice what they've learned in a more practical, real-world context.
Exactly. And as you keep practicing with AI, you'll notice that your speaking and writing skills improve. But the best part is that, unlike traditional learning methods, AI tools provide constant personalized feedback, whether it's correcting grammar, offering vocabulary suggestions, or improving pronunciation. AI helps learners fine-tune their skills in real time. This kind of continuous learning makes the process feel more organic and less overwhelming.
Well said, Julia. The power of AI in language learning is truly transformative. It's providing learners with unprecedented flexibility, personalization, and opportunities to practice. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, there's always something new to learn and practice. And AI is there to guide you every step of the way.
All right. So we've been talking about all the amazing ways AI can help with language learning, but it's important to also consider its limitations. One major limitation is that AI, no matter how advanced, cannot understand emotions the way humans can. When you're speaking with a real person, there's an emotional element in the conversation that can really help you connect. For example, if you're talking about something sensitive or personal, a human teacher can pick up on your emotional state and adjust the conversation accordingly, offering empathy or encouragement. AI, on the other hand, is simply not equipped to detect emotional cues like tone of voice, facial expressions, or body language, which means it might not always respond in the most sensitive way. If you're feeling frustrated or confused about something, AI might provide an answer, but it can't offer that human support that can really make a difference in your learning journey.
That's such an important point, Julia. Emotional understanding is crucial when it comes to teaching and learning, and this is an area where AI falls short. For instance, if you're feeling overwhelmed by a difficult lesson or just not connecting with the material, a human teacher would notice and could offer reassurance or alternative explanations. AI, on the other hand, tends to be more mechanical in its approach. It can provide feedback and guidance, but it doesn't have that empathetic response that a teacher or even a fellow student can offer. In some situations, this lack of emotional awareness might make learning feel more isolating, even though you have all these resources at your fingertips. So while AI is incredibly useful, it can't replace the emotional connection that happens in human interactions. And that's something worth keeping in mind.
Exactly, Adam. And another limitation of AI in language learning is that, just like any other technology, AI can make mistakes. While it's true that AI systems, like the ones we've mentioned, are designed to be as accurate as possible, they are still programmed by humans, and they are not perfect. Sometimes AI might give you incorrect translations, or it might misinterpret your sentence because it's not able to understand every nuance of language. For example, in a sentence with ambiguous meanings or slang, AI could make an error in how it responds. It might even give a grammatically correct answer, but fail to capture the right tone or meaning. AI is constantly improving, but it still has a long way to go before it can fully replace the precision of a skilled teacher who can explain the reasoning behind the correction.
Right. And sometimes these mistakes can be amusing. especially when it comes to translation apps. There's a funny story I came across about someone using Google Translate to translate a simple phrase from English to Spanish. The phrase was, "I love you." But when it was translated into Spanish, Google Translate said, "I love your mom" instead. It's a funny mix-up, but it highlights a real issue with relying solely on AI for translation. These systems are still learning and evolving, but until they can fully understand the context, they might make mistakes that could lead to confusion, or, in the worst case, embarrassment. Imagine saying something like that to a native speaker without realizing it. That's why it's important to remember that while AI can help with learning, it's not always 100% accurate, and it's still learning just like we are.
Oh, that's a hilarious example. It's so true. AI can make these funny translation errors that make us laugh, but also remind us that it's not perfect. These mistakes, while often harmless, can be frustrating for learners, especially when they're trying to communicate in a foreign language. It's one thing if you're using AI for basic vocabulary, but when it comes to more complex sentences, idiomatic expressions, or cultural references, AI can sometimes miss the mark. That's why relying entirely on AI for translations or conversation practice might not always be the best idea. It can be great for improving vocabulary or getting quick answers, but when it comes to understanding the full context of a conversation, a teacher or a native speaker is going to be much more effective in guiding you.
Exactly. And let's also think about the challenges AI faces in understanding regional differences in English. For instance, the way someone in the UK speaks might be completely different from someone in the US or Australia. There are a lot of regional accents, slang, and cultural references that AI can struggle with. Even in something as simple as vocabulary, certain words can mean different things depending on where you're from. For example, a biscuit in the UK is actually a cookie in the US, and in the US, chips are what the UK would call crisps. While AI can help you understand one version of English, it might not be as effective in teaching you all the regional nuances. This is where human teachers with experience in different dialects and cultures can offer a significant advantage.
You're absolutely right, Adam. AI tends to have a more standardized approach to language learning, and while that works well for many learners, it can miss out on the richness and diversity of the English language. A human teacher can introduce you to different regional accents, slang, and even help you understand the cultural context behind certain phrases. I remember when I was learning English, my teacher would often share funny stories or cultural differences between American English and British English, which helped me understand the language in a deeper way. AI, on the other hand, doesn't have that ability to share these cultural insights or explain things in the way a teacher can. It's more focused on the mechanical side of language learning, and it can't really dive into those cultural nuances.
That's a great point, Julia. I think it's clear now that while AI is an amazing tool for language learners, it definitely has its limitations. The lack of emotional understanding, the possibility of mistakes, and the inability to grasp regional dialects and cultural nuances are all things that we need to be aware of. So the next big question is, should we rely on AI for learning English, or should we still use it alongside a human teacher? I think this is something we really need to consider carefully.
I completely agree, Adam. While AI has so many advantages, especially when it comes to flexibility, availability, and personalized learning, there are still a lot of things it can't do as well as a human teacher. A teacher brings that emotional understanding, cultural insight, and the ability to explain things in ways that AI simply can't. So my personal opinion is that AI should be used as a supplement to traditional language learning, not as a complete replacement. It can be a fantastic tool for practicing, expanding vocabulary, and refining skills, but having a teacher by your side, whether in a classroom, online, or through private tutoring, can make a huge difference in how well you learn and understand the language. What do you think, Adam?
I completely agree with you, Julia. AI is a powerful tool, but it should be part of a balanced approach. For example, AI can help you practice every day, track your progress, and improve your speaking and writing skills, but a human teacher can help with the emotional side of learning, offer personalized explanations, and guide you through the cultural complexities of the language. It's not about one or the other. It's about using both to your advantage. AI and human teachers together can give you the best of both worlds. All right, let's turn our attention to the future of AI in language learning. We've talked a lot about how AI is already changing the way we learn English, but what does the future hold? There are some really exciting possibilities on the horizon. One major area for improvement is the ability for AI to hold more natural, nuanced conversations. Right now, while AI can certainly understand and respond to a wide variety of phrases, it often struggles with more complex conversations, especially when emotions, humor, or context are involved. However, advancements in natural language processing, NLP, and machine learning could allow AI to understand not just the words you're saying, but the meaning behind those words in a much deeper way. In the future, we might see AI that can engage in conversations that feel truly human, responding in ways that are contextually aware, sensitive to tone, and even capable of making jokes or offering empathy in an appropriate way.
That's a fascinating thought, Adam. Imagine being able to have a conversation with an AI that feels just like talking to a real person. The AI would be able to understand your feelings, pick up on sarcasm, and maybe even tell a joke that makes sense within the context of your conversation. It would completely change the way we learn English, because we could practice speaking in a much more natural, authentic way. One of the biggest challenges when learning a language is the ability to understand and respond to these more subtle aspects of communication. But with improvements in AI, we could have conversations that are much closer to what we'd experience in real life, which would make learning more practical and enjoyable.
Exactly, Julia. With the advancements in NLP, AI could also help with understanding various accents and regional variations more effectively. Right now, we might notice that AI tools sometimes struggle with things like regional slang or different ways of pronouncing the same word. But as AI improves, it will likely be able to handle these differences much more naturally. It's not just about grammar or vocabulary, it's about understanding the flow of a real-life conversation. Imagine an AI that can easily switch between formal and informal language, or recognize when someone is using slang or idioms that are specific to a certain region or culture. That level of adaptability would make language learning so much more effective.
I love that idea, Adam. The potential for AI to understand language in all its nuances, including cultural context and humor, could revolutionize the way we learn. It could even lead to AI learning systems that can understand the emotional context of a conversation. For example, if you're practicing English with an AI and you express frustration or excitement, the AI could adjust its tone and responses accordingly. It would no longer just be a tool for learning vocabulary or grammar, but a partner in a more immersive language learning experience. It could help learners not just understand the words, but the emotions and subtleties that go along with speaking in a foreign language. It could provide a safe, judgment-free space where you could practice all of these elements.
That's right, Julia. And it's not just about more human-like conversations. It's also about incorporating different forms of interaction. For instance, we're already seeing the integration of artificial intelligence with virtual reality, VR technology, and that's where things are getting really exciting. Imagine being able to walk into a virtual environment where you're surrounded by native English speakers, and you can practice speaking with them just like you would in real life. With VR, AI could simulate realistic environments, like a coffee shop, an airport, or even a job interview scenario, where you could practice your language skills in context. This kind of immersive experience could be incredibly powerful for learners because it would allow them to experience English in real-world situations rather than just practicing in an abstract or textbook-based way.
Oh wow, Adam, that's amazing! The idea of using virtual reality for language learning could truly bring a new level of immersion to the experience. Picture this. You could be virtually sitting in a cafe in New York, having a conversation with a barista, ordering a coffee in English, and learning new vocabulary in real time. The beauty of VR is that it could make the experience feel so real, so immersive, that it could boost your confidence and allow you to practice the kind of conversations that would be hard to replicate in a traditional classroom or even with a tutor. Plus, VR could combine all the advantages of AI, personalization, immediate feedback, and flexibility, with the added benefit of being able to physically be somewhere while practicing the language.
Exactly. The combination of AI and VR could take language learning to a whole new level. With AI acting as a personal tutor, it could provide real-time corrections, feedback, and guidance while you're practicing in these immersive environments. Not only would you get a chance to practice English in real scenarios, but you could also learn more about different cultures, regional accents, and even body language. VR could also offer learners the opportunity to practice in situations they might not have access to otherwise. Imagine being able to practice job interviews or business meetings in English, but in a virtual setting where there's no pressure or fear of judgment. You could make mistakes, learn from them, and get better without the stress of a real-life encounter.
And as you said, Adam, AI's role in this VR experience would be essential. It wouldn't just be about walking into a virtual world and trying to figure things out on your own. It would be about having a guide. The AI could track your progress, recognize your mistakes, and give you feedback in a way that's both encouraging and educational. Whether you're practicing vocabulary, sentence structure, or even pronunciation, the AI could be there to provide support. So, instead of just getting stuck in a difficult conversation or a situation you don't know how to handle, the AI could step in and offer a correction or a hint, just like a tutor would in a traditional learning environment. It's a really exciting possibility for the future.
Absolutely, Julia. Now, let's talk about the role of AI tutors in the future. With all the advancements we've discussed, it's not hard to imagine a world where AI tutors are an integral part of the language learning process. These AI tutors could be designed to help learners at every stage of their journey, from beginners to advanced speakers. They could personalize lessons, provide conversation practice, offer immediate feedback, and even simulate real-life situations where learners can apply what they've learned. And because AI can track progress and adapt to individual needs, an AI tutor could help you improve much faster than you might with traditional methods.
That's such an intriguing idea, Adam. I can definitely see how AI tutors could be a game changer for language learners in the future. It would be like having a teacher available to you at all times, guiding you through the language learning process, helping you set goals, and tracking your improvement. You could have real-time conversations with your AI tutor, ask questions, and receive answers tailored to your current level. The possibilities are endless, but it raises a question for our listeners. Would you be interested in having an AI tutor? Do you think it could replace human teachers, or do you still see value in having a real person guiding your learning?
That's a great question, Julia. For all our listeners out there, we'd love to know, would you feel comfortable having an AI tutor help you learn English? Do you think AI could provide the kind of personalized guidance you need, or do you still believe a human teacher is irreplaceable? Let us know what you think. Personally, I'm excited about the potential for AI tutors, but I also think there will always be a place for human teachers in the learning process. It's all about balance, right?
All right, we've discussed the potential of AI and how it's revolutionizing language learning, but let's talk about how you can actually use AI to improve your English. Over the years, I've seen a lot of learners struggle with knowing where to start or how to make the most of the tools available to them. So today I want to share 3 practical tips that can help you maximize your AI learning experience. The first tip is something we've touched on before: consistency. When you're learning a language, especially with AI tools, it's crucial to practice every day, even if it's just for a short time. AI apps like Duolingo, for example, have built-in reminders and daily goals that encourage learners to come back every day. Just spending 10 to 15 minutes a day practicing vocabulary, grammar, or even sentence structure can make a huge difference over time. It's like building a habit, and the more you practice, the faster you'll improve. And when you're using an AI app, it's so easy to stay consistent because the app is always available and ready to help.
I love that, Julia. Consistency is key when learning a language, and the beauty of AI is that it's always there for you. There's no need to wait for a scheduled class or for a teacher to be available. You can learn anytime, anywhere. But the next step, as you mentioned, is making sure you're engaging with the AI in a way that pushes you forward. So, my second tip is to use AI in combination with real-world practice. While AI can help you learn vocabulary, grammar, and even pronunciation, it's essential to take that knowledge and apply it in real-life situations. You could use AI to learn a new word or phrase and then immediately try to use it in a conversation with a friend or a family member. Even if they don't speak English, you can still practice saying the phrase out loud and get feedback from the AI on how it sounds. Or you could try using those words while chatting with an AI chatbot. The real key here is to take the lessons from AI and put them into practice right away.
That's a great point, Adam. I've always believed that language learning doesn't just happen inside a classroom or with an app. It happens when you start using what you've learned in the world around you. AI can give you the vocabulary and structure, but real-world application is where you start to see results. One thing I always suggest to learners is to try speaking English out loud as much as possible, even if it's just with yourself. For example, if you've just learned a new phrase from an AI app, say it out loud in front of a mirror. This helps with both pronunciation and confidence. Plus, you get to practice forming sentences and thinking on your feet, which is essential for fluency. If you're not able to find someone to practice with right away, don't let that hold you back. Use the AI chatbot for conversation practice. It's an excellent tool for building your conversational skills, and you'll be amazed at how much you can improve just by practicing in different contexts.
Exactly, Julia. And that brings me to my third tip: balancing AI with human interaction. Now, don't get me wrong, AI is fantastic and incredibly helpful. But one thing it can't do, at least not yet, is replace the human element of learning a language. Having real conversations with native speakers or even with a teacher can make a big difference. Humans understand context, emotion, and the nuances of language in ways that AI might still struggle with. That's why it's so important to balance your AI practice with opportunities for real human interaction. For example, after you've practiced a lesson with an AI app, try setting up a language exchange session with a native speaker. You can use platforms like italki or Tandem to find people who are willing to practice with you in English. Or if you're feeling shy about speaking, you could join online English forums or chat groups where you can practice writing. The idea is to mix and match AI with human interaction so that you're getting the best of both worlds.
I couldn't agree more, Adam. It's all about balance. AI can help with structure and consistency, but human interaction adds the necessary depth and real-world context that can't be replicated by an app. When you're practicing with real people, you're not just learning the language, you're also picking up on cultural nuances, slang, and idiomatic expressions that AI might miss. Plus, conversing with others helps you build confidence in your speaking ability, especially when you're forced to think on your feet and respond in real time. You might be surprised at how much more comfortable you feel speaking English once you've had a few conversations with native speakers.
Exactly, Julia. It's about creating a well-rounded learning experience. AI is like your personal language assistant. It's always available to help with practice, grammar, and vocabulary. But it's up to you to take that knowledge and apply it in the real world. So, don't be afraid to use AI to reinforce what you're learning, but also make sure to step outside the digital world and practice your English with real people, in real conversations. By combining both, you'll be able to accelerate your learning and become fluent much faster.
Absolutely, Adam. To summarize, the 3 tips I'd like to leave our listeners with today are: first, be consistent and practice every day. AI tools like Duolingo or ChatGPT are great for helping you stay on track. Second, use AI as a stepping stone to real-world practice. Take what you learn from AI apps and use it in your daily life, whether that's speaking with a friend, practicing in front of a mirror, or chatting with an AI chatbot. And third, balance AI learning with human interaction. Practice speaking with native speakers or teachers to get real-world context, feedback, and confidence. If you follow these tips, you'll be well on your way to mastering English with the help of AI.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Julia. The key takeaway is that AI can be a fantastic tool for language learning, but it's up to you to combine it with the right strategies. So, take advantage of all the tools available to you, stay consistent, and most importantly, keep practicing. If you can do that, you'll definitely see progress. All right. So far, we've talked about all the exciting possibilities AI brings to language learning, but we know that like any tool, AI isn't perfect. There are some challenges that come with using AI to learn English, and it's important to address them if we want to make the most out of our learning journey. Let's dive into some of the main obstacles people face when learning English with AI and how we can overcome them. One of the most common challenges is that AI, despite its advancements, can sometimes feel a little impersonal. For example, it doesn't always provide the human touch that many learners crave, such as emotional support, encouragement, or personalized advice based on your individual needs. Language learning is a deeply personal experience, and not having that emotional connection with the AI can be a bit discouraging for some.
That's a great point, Adam. I think the emotional aspect is something that AI hasn't fully mastered yet. Learning a language can be a tough journey. There are moments when you feel frustrated, or maybe even discouraged when things aren't going as quickly as you'd like. And having a real person there to give you a reassuring word, or even just to empathize with your struggles, can make all the difference. AI, on the other hand, may not always recognize when you're feeling stuck or demotivated. While it's great at giving feedback on grammar and vocabulary, it might miss the chance to motivate you when you need it most. So, one way to overcome this challenge is to use AI as a tool for learning, but supplement it with other forms of motivation, like setting personal goals, rewarding yourself for achievements, or working with a tutor or language partner who can give you that emotional support and encouragement.
That's exactly right, Julia. AI can be a fantastic resource for improving your technical skills, vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, but it's still important to remember that it's not a substitute for human connection, especially when it comes to motivation. Another challenge I've noticed is that learners can sometimes rely too heavily on AI to do all the work. For instance, some students might use AI to translate entire sentences or paragraphs without really making the effort to understand the structure or meaning of the words. While AI is fantastic for helping with translation or correcting mistakes, it's essential not to let it do all the thinking for you. If you're not actively engaged in understanding the language, you're missing out on the real benefits. So, how can we overcome this?
That's a really good point, Adam. We've all seen learners who just rely on the translate button in apps like Google Translate and don't really pay attention to the language's nuances. While AI tools are amazing at providing quick translations, they don't always explain why something is the way it is, or teach you how to use the language in a deeper, more meaningful way. To overcome this, it's important to be active in your learning process. Instead of just copying a translation, take the time to look up the word or phrase, understand how it's used in different contexts, and try to use it in your own sentences. AI should be a tool to help you understand and practice, not something that does all the work for you. A great way to do this is to use AI alongside traditional learning methods, like textbooks or language classes, where you can dive deeper into the rules and structure of the language.
Absolutely, Julia. And while AI is incredibly effective in certain areas, one limitation that learners often face is that AI can't provide personalized explanations for every learner. We all have different learning styles. Some people are visual learners, others prefer listening, and some may need more hands-on practice. AI is becoming more adaptive, but it still operates based on patterns. For example, if you're a visual learner, You might struggle with an AI app that focuses primarily on text-based exercises. The challenge here is that the learning method provided by the AI may not always match your personal preferences, which could slow down your progress. So, how do we deal with this issue?
That's a fantastic observation, Adam. One way to overcome this is to try and adapt the AI learning experience to fit your needs as much as possible. Some AI apps have customizable settings where you can adjust the difficulty level, choose the type of lessons you prefer, or even work through different learning modes, such as listening, speaking, reading, or writing. But even beyond that, you can supplement your AI learning with other resources that match your learning style. If you're a visual learner, for example, you can watch videos or use apps that provide more interactive exercises, like flashcards with images or visual cues. If you prefer learning by listening, there are plenty of language podcasts or audiobooks that you can combine with your AI practice. It's all about using AI in a way that complements your personal learning preferences.
Exactly. And I think one of the other main challenges people face when using AI to learn English is the fear of making mistakes. A lot of learners get anxious about making errors, especially when speaking or practicing with AI chatbots. They're worried that their pronunciation won't be perfect or that they'll be judged for making mistakes. The truth is, mistakes are part of the process. AI is actually a great way to practice without the fear of embarrassment. You can make mistakes and get immediate, non-judgmental feedback. That said, it's important to push past that fear of mistakes and view them as opportunities for growth. If you make a mistake, don't be discouraged. Learn from it and keep practicing. Mistakes are how we learn, and the more you practice, the fewer mistakes you'll make.
That's so true, Adam. The fear of making mistakes is something we all face, and it's one of the most common barriers to language learning. But with AI, it's like having a safe space where you can try, fail, and try again without worrying about judgment. The key is to embrace those mistakes. Every time you make one, you learn something new. So don't be afraid to speak out loud, to try new words, and to take risks. AI is there to guide you, not judge you. And the more you practice without fear, the more confident and fluent you'll become in English.
Well said, Julia. To wrap things up, the main challenges when learning English with AI can be the lack of emotional connection, over-reliance on the technology, a mismatch between the AI's teaching methods and your personal learning style, and the fear of making mistakes. But the good news is that each of these challenges can be overcome. By supplementing AI with human interaction, being actively involved in your learning process, adapting AI to fit your needs, and embracing mistakes as learning opportunities, you'll set yourself up for success. AI is an incredible tool, but it's up to us to make sure we're using it in the right way. Wow, Julia, we've covered so much in this discussion. From understanding what AI is to exploring how it's transforming language learning, we've seen both the advantages and the limitations of AI when it comes to mastering English. We talked about the power of AI tools like Duolingo, ChatGPT, and Google Translate, and how they can help learners improve their vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and even conversation skills. We also discussed how AI is available 24/7, making it a great learning companion, especially for those who don't have access to traditional classes or tutors. And let's not forget how AI can personalize lessons based on individual learning styles, helping students practice at their own pace.
That's right, Adam. But we also highlighted some of the challenges that come with using AI for language learning. AI, as advanced as it is, still lacks the emotional connection and deep understanding that human teachers provide. It can sometimes make mistakes, especially when it comes to complex translations or nuanced conversations. And while AI is a fantastic tool, it shouldn't completely replace real-life interaction with native speakers or teachers. That's why balance is so important. Using AI as a support system while also practicing with real people is the key to making real progress.
Absolutely, Julia. And one of the most important things we emphasize today is the mindset that learners should have when using AI. Consistency is key. Practicing a little bit every day, even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes, can lead to huge improvements over time. It's also important for learners to actively engage with the AI rather than passively relying on it. Instead of just using translation tools, they should try to understand the structure of sentences, form their own responses, and challenge themselves to apply what they've learned in real-life situations.
Exactly, Adam. And that brings me to a question for our listeners. We've shared our thoughts, but now we'd love to hear from you. Do you use AI to learn English? If so, what's your experience been like? Have you found it helpful? Or have you faced any challenges? Let us know in the comments or reach out to us on social media. We'd love to hear your stories and thoughts on this topic.
Yes, your feedback is so valuable because it helps us understand how learners around the world are using AI to improve their English. And more importantly, it helps us create better conversations like this one, where we can share tips, discuss new ideas, and help each other grow. So, whether you're using AI for vocabulary, pronunciation, or grammar, the key takeaway is this: keep practicing every day. Learning a language isn't about being perfect, it's about making small improvements over time, and AI can be a great tool to help you stay on track.
That's such great advice, Adam. The most important thing is to stay motivated and keep going, no matter what. Language learning is a journey, and like any journey, there will be ups and downs. But as long as you stay consistent and keep challenging yourself, you will improve. And remember, AI is here to help, but you are the one in control of your learning. Use AI wisely, practice speaking, reading, and listening every day. And don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's how we learn.
Well said, Julia. With that, I think it's time to wrap up today's episode. We hope this conversation has given you some new insights into the role of AI in language learning and how you can use it effectively. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to follow us so you don't miss our future episodes.
Yes, and if you found this discussion helpful, share it with your friends, classmates, or anyone who's trying to learn English. The more we learn together, the better. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate your time and support.
Thanks again, everyone. Keep practicing, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care and happy learning. Bye for now.